This is volume 11 of the 15-volume trade paperback collection of Love and Rockets, volume 1, if that makes sense. It's called Wigwam Bam, and the title comes from a song from the band Sweet that features in the story. This is Hopi-centric, and I've always said that Hopi is really not my favorite character, and I've never, I mean, she's written well. I know she's central to the story, but as a reader, she's not somebody that I can actually like. I've always found the character to be narcissistic, manipulative, doesn't really care about other people, only when it benefits her. And this story is basically her on the East Coast. Her and Maggie are not together. And it's just her adventures with her friends and the band and all over. And the first part starts off with, flashback to Maggie. But then it's just a collection of all these side characters that are in the Love and Rockets universe. There's Doyle. He's kind of living in a homeless camp. Hopi is, kind of like flirting and dating women as sees fit. Her friend Anita decides that she's going to be a stripper, and she's dating Doyle, who's Maggie's ex-boyfriend. And most of the story is just a bunch of people with no direction, no goals, no real ambition, just kind of meandering through life. And I think that these characters are very important to Jaime, but they really don't resonate with the reader. I'm looking at these people and I'm just thinking, man, can anybody here get their stuff together? But apparently not. I think it's beyond their ability to do so. And so after a while, you're just reading these people drifting from one bad situation and to another bad situation because they make dumb choices. And I don't know if it's because that's the plot, and sometimes you'll see in movies and in TV where characters do dumb things just to keep the plot moving, or if Jaime's point was that these people are just kind of like aimless kind of losers. And it's really, like I said, it's hard for me, at least me, to connect with these people. And I think in comics, you either have to connect with a character or characters, or you just kind of know that you're watching, even if you're watching something that's like you're like just watching the background, you have to somehow connect with the character. And here it's just really hard to connect with the character. Now, in this story, this bit was serialized over many issues of Love and Rockets. There's this running thing about Hopi's face being on one of those milk cartons for missing children, saying, "Have you seen me?" And they're trying to figure out like what it is, and it's just people just having all these weird adventures. You're introduced to Joey, Hopi's brother, who is maybe even a bigger piece of crap than Hopi is. I think this Hopi is more subtle about it. Excuse me. And, Izzy's driving all over looking for Hopi. There's just all this weird stuff that goes on, and none of it really seems to make sense. It's just, like I said, there's like no overall real plot. It just seems like people aimlessly drifting from one situation to another. It's done well, it's drawn well, but I just think that the characters themselves, it's really hard to connect. And then towards the end, part 6 of this book takes a really weird turn because Hopi befriends a woman named Jewel, a young woman named Jewel. And Jewel is the daughter of this woman, Nan Tucker. Nan Tucker is a former famous TV icon. Think of an old school Lucille Ball or Carol Burnett, Doris Day, that kind of thing. And she's rich, so they're living there. And then you find out pretty quick that this old lady has a thing for young women. Now, all these women are of legal age, But so it's not like an Epstein thing, but it sort of is like an Epstein thing. And there's like, this is even like her daughter, Jewel, telling her mom, she's my friend, like kind of basically leave her alone. And then all of a sudden, and this older woman keeps these young girls, like this woman here, she's legal. I mean, you see her in the side, she's sitting there smoking, but she's petite and she dresses like a little girl. It's really a weird kink. And then Jaime has to insert a page out of nowhere for no reason of Penny Century. And I've always said that Hopi is unlikable, but Penny Century is the real supervillain of this series. She's the chaos agent. She's rich, she's attractive, she gets any guy she wants, she does whatever the hell she wants, and then she justifies it all. She's even more narcissistic than anybody else in this series, which is saying a lot. And then there's this one scene because Hopi is staying at Jewel's house because Hopi likes to use people. She's like, hey, I get to stay in this mansion, whatever. And there's this one strange scene here where I guess Jewel and Hopi are planning to go out somewhere. And you see Hopi is looking. This is a really nice panel, by the way it's composed. And Jewel's like, come on, man, I don't want to watch that thing. And he's like, okay, no, I want to watch just a little bit more. I want to watch. I'll see you, there. I'll meet you at so-and-so. Yeah, I'll see you there. And so she's seeing Nantucket with this woman who's acting and dressed like a little girl, and she's sitting there smiling. I mean, and this is when I realized that Hopi's a sociopath. She just doesn't care about anybody. Instead of being horrified or being grossed out or just even being weirded out at this thing, she's like actually getting off on watching this crazy display. It's like somebody that's likes watching a building on fire. And then she's talking to her about it, but she doesn't really like care. It's and this is when I realized, yeah, she's a sociopath. She doesn't care about anybody, just herself maybe. And then later on in this story, there's a party at Nantucker's house, and there's this whole crew of young, petite, I guess 18-year-old or older women that are dressed like little girls to entertain a bunch of old ladies that are Nantucker's guests because they all have the same kink. Jewel, Nantucker's daughter, just tells this one old lady that's like, she's been assigned to, like, I'm tired of this stuff. I don't want to do this stuff anymore. And she's yelling at her mom, flips to the bird, and this old lady just whacks her on the back of the head. She knocks out. And they're like, oh, she dead? No, she's okay. I think you need to leave. And you never really understand the end of the story. Did this lady kill her? Not kill her? It's just kind of weird. And then, any normal person would be like, want to run out of there. But she has to say, okay, I'm sorry, maybe it's best if you left now. Okay. Maybe she's stunned. I don't think so. And so she finds her friend Tex, her bandmate Tex, who's always been there for her and always will help her out. And just to kind of step back a minute, there's this little flashback based on this novel, like of Hopi's mom trying to make Hopi a little child model, but she didn't want to comply, so she's mad. And I guess you're somehow supposed to feel like, oh, that's a childhood trauma that's made Maggie this way. I don't think it works. And then, Hopi's got no place to go because she got kicked out of this, asked to leave the mansion, so she just boards up with Tex, and they're talking, and she says, oh, relax, Texas, I'll just call Jewel when she gets back from, and find out what really happened. Okay. And she's taking a bath, kind of falls asleep, and all of a sudden this boot appears and just dunks her in the water. And these two really rough-looking women appear, and one of them says, just a reminder, the lady doesn't want any publicity, okay? Nantucker's an American icon, remember? And they say, don't get up. So when Maggie gets out of the bath, they beat the hell out of Tex. And this is, you realize it's not fun and game, that this woman is a pervert, maybe a pedophile. She knows her status as far as wealth goes, and she'll do anything she can to protect it. This is probably one of the most realistic things in this story. And then the next panel is Hopi, I guess, is like leaving the hospital. And she passes by Tex's room, and the mom says, what kind of friends did he have that would allow this to happen? And Hopi doesn't even like stop and go in and check him. She just like walks away. And then she sees that woman, the one that acts like a little girl, and then she sees all these bruises on her face. And she just walks away. That's how it ends. She doesn't apologize. She doesn't try to like say, hey, whatever. She just like walks away. And this is when I realized, yeah, man, she just doesn't care. And then the epilogue here is interesting because this is Joey, Hopi's brother, Joey's girlfriend, who for some reason loves him but nice to him, Hopi's mom. They're having breakfast, and then he says to her, I'm the one that put her face on those milk cartons. And then later on, he tells his girlfriend, no, I really didn't do that. I just said it so to shut her up. And he's just a real jerk to her. So she's out there, and then she sees these girls putting up a banner. And what they realize is that these girls have a punk band, and they're super fans of Hopi when she was doing her punk rock thing. So they decided that an album cover idea was Have You Seen Me? And they had this milk carton thing, and they thought it might go viral. So Joey's girlfriend realizes, oh yeah, this is proof that you really didn't do it. So he's sitting there arguing with his mom on the phone, saying, no, I didn't do it. I lied, I didn't do it. And she's trying to show him, and all he does is just crumple the paper and throw it at her and walks away. And like I said, it's all well done. I just don't think it connects very well. Or maybe it's not supposed to connect. Maybe you're just supposed to not like any of these characters. I don't know. But this was a bit of a shorter read. And also, I understand that Jaime is experimenting with storytelling, but there was a lot of different plots going on at the same time and different things. And it just seemed like it was a collection of just little vignettes that had almost very little unifying elements. So it's really good, but this kind of fell flat on me. And I'm disappointed in saying that because I've liked what I've read so far, but it just honestly seemed disappointing. Anyway, that's my take on this. If anyone has any thoughts or disagrees, let me know. Thank you.